Here's your news for February 4th, 2020. We're starting off with huge news from Monday Night Raw, as Stone Cold Steve Austin may be returning to the show very soon. According to Brad Shepard, the Texas Rattlesnake will be appearing on the March 16th edition of the Red Brand, which will take place at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. Time will tell whether Austin will actually appear, but if he does, expect some hell to be raised and some superstars to be stunned, courtesy of the former WWE Champion. From one legend to another, as Austin isn't the only big name that is expected to be making a return in the coming weeks. With WrestleMania on the horizon, there's been plenty of talk about The Undertaker, as it's been reported that the Deadman will be facing AJ Styles at the Show of Shows. Fightful Select reported that the Deadman was spotted at the WWE Performance Center last week, adding to the speculation that he'll be returning to TV very soon. Brad Shepard also got in on the action by saying that the Phenom is slated to appear on the March 9th edition of Raw, which will be the first show after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. For what it's worth, Styles did name-drop The Undertaker during his promo on Raw this week, as it seems the Phenomenal One is ready for another huge match at WrestleMania, this time against the Demon of Death Valley. We've got more news from WrestleMania now, as NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley will defend her title against Charlotte Flair, but that may not be the only opponent for the Australian. While speaking to Sportskeeda, Ripley said that she loved facing Bianca Belair, whom she defeated at NXT TakeOver Portland, and wouldn't mind having her title match at WrestleMania turn into a triple threat. She said, "If they add Bianca Belair to it, I honestly don't mind. I love fighting Bianca, and if she got put into the match, I'd be all for it. But I'm not going to argue about it and say that she doesn't deserve it, because she does deserve it. She deserves her WrestleMania moment, and if she gets added to it, I'm not going to complain." Of course, if Belair was added to the match, that could mean that Ripley could lose the title without being pinned or submitted, which is how Flair herself lost the SmackDown Women's title last year. So the Australian is clearly confident heading into the biggest match of her career. Back to Raw now, as this week's show saw Matt Hardy take another huge beating by Randy Orton, and now the WWE have given an update on the veteran's condition. On WWE.com, a report stated that Hardy has been released from the hospital he went to after the attack and is currently resting at home. While Matt and Orton were supposed to have a no-holds-barred match on the show, this plan was changed on the day by Vince McMahon, and it's unclear whether Matt will be back. It's common knowledge that Hardy's contract expires on March 1st, and with no news of the former tag team champion re-signing, it seems that this week's attack was done to write Matt off the show for good. We've got a unique story to say the least now, as this week's NXT saw the new tag team champions, the Broserweights, appear, though fans will have noticed something missing from their entrance. Despite being the Dusty Classic winners, the team of Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne showed up without their trophy, and according to the WWE NXT Twitter account, the trophy itself has been suspended for failing the company's wellness policy. Because this is the trophy's first violation since joining WWE in 2015, this suspension is for 30 days, as the tweet claimed that the Stallion Cup partied too hard in Portland after the Broserweights won the titles. This is a pretty fun route for WWE to go, as we're amazed that in a tag team with Matt Riddle of all people, it'd be the trophy that went down for taking banned substances. From the NXT Tag Team Champions to the Women's WWE Tag Team Champions, as the record-breaking reign of the Kabuki Warriors could be in serious jeopardy. On the March 9th edition of Raw, the team of Asuka and Kairi Sane will defend their titles against Charlotte Flair and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. While the card is always subject to change, the show is certainly stacked, as in addition to the rumored return of The Undertaker we mentioned earlier, the show will also see The Big Show face Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre take on Randy Orton. Fans in Washington will certainly have a lot of action to see, as it's clear that the road to WrestleMania is well and truly underway. We mentioned that Randy Orton is set to take on the Men's Royal Rumble winner on the March 9th show, but according to one man, the Viper should be doing much better. Despite being a 13-time WWE World Champion, Orton has a big fan in Ken Shamrock, who took to Twitter this week in support of the third-generation superstar. He wrote, "Randy Orton is an unbelievable wrestler, and I have no idea how he is not carrying the belt. He would be a guy I would love to challenge, as I know I would have to be at my best." This isn't the only time the world's most dangerous man has been connected to Orton, as Randy has stated in the past that Shamrock deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. It's clear that there's a lot of respect between the two, and while Shamrock and Orton may have to wait for Ken's induction into the WWE Hall of Fame, the 1998 King of the Ring winner is set to join the Impact Hall of Fame this October. We are once again looking at WrestleMania, as the WWE has a lot of plans in place for the show of shows. According to PW Insider, though, one plan could see the reunion of a former stable, as their report states that both Brodus Clay and Cameron are both slated to be at WrestleMania weekend for an appearance or, quote, something greater. As of right now, Naomi, who worked with Cameron as a dancer for the Funkasaurus many years ago, is set to challenge Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania, and this rumored match could be the perfect time to bring Brodus and Cameron back for a WrestleMania moment. Since the group split in 2014, Naomi has by far been the most successful, becoming a two-time SmackDown Women's Champion and could be mere weeks away from starting her third reign at the biggest show of the year. More news of returns to WWE now, as former superstar Kenny Dykstra recently served as a guest coach at the WWE Performance Center. According to Fightful Select, the former tag champion remains in ridiculous shape, and after quitting his job to return to the ring in 2016, has wrestled for MLW and beyond in recent months. Fans may remember that Dykstra returned to WWE TV under his Spirit Squad gimmick on SmackDown in 2016, and now the 33-year-old is ready to make a difference at the company's Performance Center. Now, Alicia Fox is one of the most veteran WWE superstars after her on-screen debut in 2008, but things haven't been easy for the former Divas champion. During her career, Fox has had issues with addiction, and while she was brought in for SummerSlam last year, fans in Toronto saw a very public incident involving Fox that made her and the company look bad. The last time fans saw her was back at the Raw reunion, where her profile on WWE.com was quietly moved to the Legends section, leading some to speculate that she's quietly retired from in-ring competition. Now, though, we have some good news to report, as this week, Fox went to Instagram to reveal that she is 6 months clean and doing much better these days. We're thrilled to see that the former Divas champion is doing well, and her story goes to show that anyone can break their harmful habits as long as they have the drive and desire to make that change. We're going a bit meta now, as in many of our reports we cite Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter as a source, but not everyone is a fan of the veteran journalist. This week, King Corbin shared his view on Meltzer, describing the writer as a cancer to the industry in a response to a fan. On Twitter, Eric Bischoff also got in on the action, but said that comparing Meltzer to cancer is way too strong, claiming that the Wrestling Observer is more like herpes, a pesky virus that never goes away. We'll have to see whether Meltzer comments back on these comparisons by the King of the Ring or the former Raw general manager, and it'll be interesting to see whether these comments affect how Big Dave rates Corbin's matches. We are looking back at the Royal Rumble now, as though WWE Champion Brock Lesnar was able to eliminate a record-tying 13 superstars, one man he struggled to get over the top rope was Keith Lee. The past 6 months have certainly been a big time for the Limitless One, who not only had a stellar performance at Survivor Series last year, but is also the current holder of the NXT North American Championship. While speaking to WWE backstage, Lee commented on sharing the ring with Lesnar, describing the experience as intense. He said, "When you get in the ring with someone who is a specimen like that, you have no choice but to feel it. For me, competition excites me." Lesnar vs. Lee could certainly become a huge marquee match soon enough on pay-per-view, but the Beast isn't the only huge star that the North American champion has shared the ring with. We mentioned that Lee had a great showing at Survivor Series last year, but he ultimately fell to SmackDown's Roman Reigns, and Lee also commented on what it was like to face the big dog. He said, "That day was obviously just as intense. I didn't know what was going on, and I ended up being the last 3 to remain in that match. It was quite the squabble with Roman Reigns, who was the last to kick out of a spirit bomb for crying out loud, and he speared me out of my boots onto my neck. After that moment set a tone for me. After that, he told me straight up that, 'I want a one-on-one match against you.'" It looks like Lee has no shortage of potential opponents if he makes the move to Raw or SmackDown, and the future certainly looks bright for the Limitless One. We've got news from this week's SmackDown now, as the Blue brand has certainly got a lot to offer for the fans. On tomorrow's show, the Bella Twins will return to the blue brand, and they will appear as the guests on A Moment of Bliss alongside Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. There's no word yet on why Nikki and Brie, who both announced their pregnancies, will appear, but they've been rumored to be joining Batista and the New World Order in this year's Hall of Fame class. In addition to the Bellas, this week's SmackDown will also feature a big 8-man tag team match pitting the Usos and the New Day against John Morrison, The Miz, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. With Carmella and Naomi facing off in a number 1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's title at Super Showdown, Renee Young sitting down for an interview with Lacey Evans, and Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg appearing live, there will be plenty of fans to see when SmackDown arrives at the Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. And we're finishing today by looking at the Wednesday Night Wars, as NXT had a huge act to follow following an incredible takeover event in Portland. After the Velveteen Dream interrupted the Undisputed Era, NXT Cruiserweight Champion Jordan Devlin defeated Lio Rush, while Tommaso Ciampa sent a very painful message to his former friend Johnny Gargano, with Austin Theory taking the punishment. Up next, NXT UK's grizzled young veterans defeated Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, while the Broserweights picked up another big win, this time over Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. NXT North American champion Keith Lee continued his winning ways by defeating Kona Reeves, while Chelsea Green, accompanied by Robert Stone, finally got her win over Kaden Carter. In the main event, Velveteen Dream cemented his return to the ring after months away by defeating Roderick Strong, but there'll be no rest for the stars of NXT, as next week's show will see Tommaso Ciampa face Austin Theory and a special appearance by Finn Balor. Over on TNT, it was time for another week of AEW Dynamite, as the Young Bucks kicked off the show by winning a battle royal to become the number 1 contenders for the AEW Tag Team titles. With this win, the Bucks have earned a spot at the upcoming Revolution pay-per-view, as they will be facing the current champions Kenny Omega and Adam Page on February 29th at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Up next, Shanna defeated Chris Statlander, but that didn't stop AEW's Resident Alien from having a face-off with new AEW Women's Champion Nyla Rose, while Jon Moxley defeated Jeff Cobb, only to be pounced on post-match by the Inner Circle. In tag team title action, Adam Page and Kenny Omega retained their titles against the Lucha Brothers, while Cody Rhodes was able to defeat Wardlow inside a steel cage, hitting a moonsault from the top of the structure to get the win. After Dynamite went off the air, there was still a reason for fans to stick around, as Cody Rhodes gave a passionate promo to the crowd in his home state of Georgia. After his promo, AEW wasted no time in building to future events, as next week's show will feature a 30-minute Iron Man match, the first in the company's history, pitting Kenny Omega versus Pac. This follows up from the long-term feud between the two, as Pac got the win at All Out, while Omega evened the score on the November 27th edition of Dynamite. Next week's show will also see a weigh-in between AEW World Champion Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley ahead of their title match at Revolution, as well as Best Friends facing The Butcher and The Blade. It'll certainly be interesting to see how the company handles the Iron Man stipulation and just what condition everyone who competes next week will be in before AEW Revolution, which will take place at the end of the month on pay-per-view.